So my job's kind of building the brains of robots, and specifically trying to have robots to be able to know where they are, to know what's around them, what obstacles are around them, and know how they move through the environment. So think of it like you're going to a new city, you want to see where the buildings are and navigate your way to some goal. We're trying to teach robots how to do that on Earth, flying, underwater, going through caves. And it's my job to develop the software, the smarts in the robot, to enable them to do that. So I started in a similar position to a lot of you guys back at home, where I was interested in maths and science. I really liked understanding how things worked, and I wanted to try and apply that to solve problems in the real world. So that made me very interested in engineering. I also love space, I love Star Wars, and that made me want to do that in a realm where I'm doing engineering in space or in aircraft. And so I chose to do, after my high school, aeronautical space engineering at the University of Sydney. And I didn't know that much about space stuff, but the more I learnt as I was doing that degree, the more interested I got. I got more and more excited about space, about aerospace, that I decided to do another degree. So after your first university degree, you can do a PhD. And I did that in more robotics. I was interested in how we control things that fly around or in space. And after doing that, I had the opportunity to do an internship at the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory here, which is the NASA center that does a lot of robotics. So they put robots on Mars, around other planets. And then that opportunity allowed me to come back here after my PhD degree, and I'm now working here on developing robots in space, on the ground, in caves, for a range of applications, but trying to improve what robots can do to explore our solar system. Robotics is a great combination of many critical skills for going forward. You've got a lot of the understanding of the coding of how you control these robots. There's the physical hardware of the mechanisms of all the robots. But also, to build these robots, you have to work as a team. You have to combine different skills from different people and work together to make these systems of hardware, software, and also thinking about the logic of how you control them to drive around. So they're good skills for whatever industry you're going to go into. But also, robots are getting more and more capable, so they're going to become more pervasive in every industry. And so understanding how these work, or being able to help develop the robots, gives a lot of exciting opportunities to do really cool things in the future. So I think from the teacher's perspective, it's good to understand that these skills are fairly fundamental to any industry. To understand computer programming, to understand robotics, because even if you're not developing robots or making robots, you're going to have to be interacting with them. It could be in the fashion industry where you're designing a virtual reality system to be able to help people see how clothes might fit on them to get the right size. It could be finance, doing different types of programming to understand the markets. It could be art, where you're trying to communicate technology to people and you're using different types of software to create graphics. So whatever industry you're in this future world, you're going to have to understand robotics, understand STEM, understand computer programming. So it's a really important skill for a lot of people to have. And additionally, if students get very motivated and inspired by this field, I found that space and technology and engineering can be something that is supremely motivating. It's one of the most enduringly motivating things I've seen. So personally, I come to work every day and I get to be in an organisation where people are controlling robots driving on Mars, going to other planets, going outside the solar system. And this is my job. It doesn't feel like a job. And I've got that for the rest of my life, right? I don't feel like I have to work for a paycheck. I'm doing something I love and I get to get paid to do that, and I can have that as my livelihood. So the potential for students to be inspired and find that little spark, I find is there's so many people like that in this space and technology area, that if students can have the chance to find that, I think that's supremely valuable.